Sick, alone, and unemployed. The COVID pandemic left so many people just miserable.
Yeah, but the pandemic equaled money to a now federally indicted tax preparer. Fox 13 investigative reporter Kayla Solomon is unraveling a $65 million COVID scheme and the cover-up investigators say followed.
Posed behind a laptop, Renata Walton presented herself as a tax expert. Not only did she prepare taxes, she taught others to do the same, and even sold her own tax preparation software. An online article touted Walton as a working mom and entrepreneur, running not just the tax business, but bounce house rentals, a fashion boutique, and a cosmetic line. And if you ran a business, any kind of business, her Facebook page claims she was the tax preparer you should depend on, even promising self-employed people thousands in COVID relief money. Those thousands turned into millions, according to this federal indictment. It says Walton and accused co-conspirator Nicole Jones would contact clients who had small businesses and ask if they were interested in, quote, grant money that was available to them. Then they'd prepare tax forms claiming employee retention credits with substantial and fictitious wage amounts. Those small businesses would then receive U.S. Treasury checks based on that false information in excess of $100,000. And the indictment says they did it over and over again with different clients, in all defrauding or attempting to defraud the government out of $65 million between 2020 and this year. Of course, then Walton and Jones got a cut, about $15,000 each for their services. Then the government caught on. In January of last year, Walton was put on notice the federal government was investigating her for tax preparation fraud. Yet, she continued to file fraudulent tax returns. Then came the cover-up. This year, the indictment says Walton and Jones sent clients pre-drafted letters to forward to the IRS with false information to undermine the IRS investigation, and later encouraging clients not to speak with IRS agents. In all, this is a 51-count indictment covering wire fraud, conspiracy, obstruction of justice, helping to file a false tax return, and money laundering. Kayla Solomon, Fox 13 investigates.
Since the pandemic here, more than 6,000 COVID relief loans have yet to be forgiven in Greater Cincinnati.
I-Team reporter Dan Monk has been digging into those unforgiven paycheck protection loans. He found the process was too difficult for some and too easy for others.
We could have survived, but it sure made it a lot easier.
Gail Hardin Renfro was grateful for her paycheck protection loan.
I was able to supplement salaries, cover utilities, none of that stops. So that $20,000 went a long way in not having to lay off staff.
But the co-owner of the Renfro, Patterson, and Jordan Funeral Home in Avondale hit a snag when it came to loan forgiveness.
They sent out an email about how to go about it electronically. I found it pretty confusing.
That's why Renfro was surprised to learn that 5 people got their loans forgiven while they were being investigated by the FBI.
An FBI affidavit accuses Joe Lentini of conspiracy and fraud for filing false claims for federal COVID relief and collecting huge fees for helping 4 other individuals do the same.
When the I-Team broke the story on this alleged conspiracy in September 2021, the SBA had already forgiven more than $150,000 in loans for 2 of Lentini's companies.
That is disappointing. I mean, it's my tax dollars, it's everybody's tax dollars.
The I-Team tried to reach Lentini through his attorney, who did not respond.
Once the money is in the hands of the bad actors, it's going to be hard to get it back.
Washington, D.C. Attorney Tenley Karp is an expert on SBA loan procedures.
But what you've uncovered, what you're asking, is really a flaw in the investigative process, because somehow there's a disconnect between the agencies investigating and the SBA who's approving the loan forgiveness.
We reached out to the FBI, the SBA, and federal prosecutors. None of them would comment while the case is still pending. But this affidavit says the FBI began its investigation in March of 2021. That same month, the SBA approved 3 new loans for people who would later be charged. As the investigation continues, 7 loans were forgiven between April and August. Karp thinks the SBA did the best it could with the staffing it had. Gail Hardin Renfro is hoping the SBA will be as forgiving with her loans as it was for others.
I took it with the understanding it was going to be forgiven. I didn't have to take it, but it certainly helped. And if it's not, then we'll do the honorable thing and pay it back. But I'm certainly going to circle back and apply to have it forgiven.
The feds indict an Erie County man on charges in an alleged PPP loan scheme, also known as the Paycheck Protection Program.
The program was created during the COVID-19 pandemic to help businesses struggling financially. 13 Action News reporter Alexis Means has the details, all new at 6.
The federal court documents claim Daniel Hitlin from Erie County is facing federal charges for alleged bank fraud and money laundering of millions in COVID-19 pandemic relief funds. He's accused of submitting 3 false Paycheck Protection Program, also known as PPP loan applications. Federal agents claim Hitlin received more than $2.5 million for his businesses, Sailor Sales, LLC, and Daniel Robert Hitlin, DRH. He allegedly used the money to buy an $89,000 Escalade, a $49,000 Corvette, $20,000 in Rolex watches, and 2 properties for $418,000 with the pandemic relief money. PPP loans were part of a federal program to provide financial help to business owners struggling financially, suffering from the COVID-19 pandemic. Investigators claim Hitlin lied about the number of employees and payroll on loan applications by submitting false payroll documents with his applications. He will be required to forfeit all the property he allegedly bought with the money. Daniel Hitlin will face a judge on Monday. In Toledo, Alexis Means, 13 Action News.
And we reached out to Daniel Hitlin's lawyer, but he has yet to return our phone call.
With his new at 5, a scam alert for small business owners.
Troubleshooter Diane Wilson here with how this scam cost one Raleigh man more than $11,000. Hi, Diane.
You know, guys, this scam targets business owners who got financial relief as part of the Paycheck Protection Program during COVID. If you met certain conditions, you didn't have to pay it back. Well, scammers got a hold of who got these loans and how much, and are now trying to get that money. A disturbing phone call claiming to be from the Wake County Sheriff's Department got Victor Font's attention.
He starts telling me that a warrant has been issued for my arrest.
At first, Victor didn't think much of it, but then
It has to do with the PPP, Forgivable Loan Program. My application was flagged as fraudulent.
Victor, small business owner, did get a PPP loan from the government during COVID, but said he still wasn't convinced the call was legit until
He knew the bank I took the money from. And that's the thing that really got to me, because I thought banking information in the United States is private.
Then this order of arrest was emailed to Victor. Plus this paperwork, which appears to be from the FDIC to recover the fraudulent PPP loans. Seeing this paperwork, Victor panicked. Victor says a caller said to avoid arrest, he could pay the $5,500 bail. With that cash, he followed these instructions that he says the caller emailed him. The instructions told him to go to specific cryptocurrency ATMs and put in the cash.
I let this guy get to me emotionally, and I dropped my guard.
While still on the line with the caller, Victor says the caller insisted Victor needed to send another $6,000, which he paid the same way as before.
They tell you, don't tell the bank, because now you're putting them in a situation of aiding and abetting a criminal.
After these receipts show he sent $11,500, Victor thought he resolved the issue and just needed to go to court. The next day, he took a trip to the federal courthouse in Raleigh.
Can you check your docket and see if my name is in your docket? My name never appeared in a federal court docket, ever.
It was all an elaborate scam, and Victor is not alone. In Idaho, the Department of Finance issued this alert about the same scheme where scammers, just like in Victor's case, use phony court documents to make it look like fraud surrounding the PPP loans.
It's given me an opportunity to warn other small business owners across the United States, because they're going for federal PPP forgivable loan money.
Victor saying he never realized the details of the PPP loans are all public information, and that's how scammers are getting access to the details, like what bank provided the loan and how much it was for. And so the red flags, remember, law enforcement will not contact you on the phone about an arrest warrant or email you the arrest warrant, and they especially will not demand immediate payment with cryptocurrency.
Well, good for him for coming to you and telling you about it.
And alerting other small businesses. So.